Everybody's off in Boston. Good evening. It's 8:46 in the nation's capital, and I'm going to do a quick video on total return swaps, how Bill Hwang and Archegos royally shit the bed. And you'll see how it works. And I'll just go into some of the mechanics really thinly, and then I'll get to the meat and potatoes of Bill and Archegos. And this is a systemic risk issue that needs to be addressed. A lot of people don't know about it, but now I'm going to teach you. You're going to learn, and I think you'll walk away with something of value. All right. So let's kick it off right here. Total return swap. All right. So let's talk about LIBOR. All right. This is the London interbank offered rate. This is what institutions use as the rate to borrow between banks and institutions. So if you have it as that, if you have, capital requirement needs, this is the rate that they use. This is not commercial lending. This is explicitly for the market. It's a different rate, and it's called the LIBOR rate. And they pay an interest rate on it, and it's a payment. It's a fixed fee over a period of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 30 days, depending on what the actual contract is stipulating. Now, our friend Bill Hwang, I think that's how you say it, Hwang. He did this with a bunch of investment banks. I'm going to get to that in a sec, but there's two parties involved, right? There's a buyer and a seller. There's a middleman and a guy that is in need of something. That's the simplest way I can put it. There's a guy that needs it, and there's a guy that's willing to do the dealing, and he'll spot you money. Okay, so let's see what happened with Bill. Okay, this is a very simple thing. If you want to come back to this chart, just hit pause. Maybe you can kind of understand what's happening here, and it's not too technical. It's just enough perfect technical, I think, just enough. So let's look at this video right here. Let's look at the screen. This is what happened. All right. So Bill Hwang opens up a hedge fund in Hong Kong called Tiger Global, right? Tiger Global. He gets nailed in 2011 with just a bunch of insider trading charges and market manipulation. And in 2012, they just outright ban him from the Hong Kong market. Nobody's seen Bill. He's gone, and that's the end of Bill Hwang. He still has a shit ton of money. They ding him like, I don't know, $40–50 million, whatever the thing was. Not enough to really teach him a lesson, because he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll just keep doing it or whatnot. So he rebrands, right? He leaves, Tiger Global Hong Kong, where he's making good money, and he opens up, ready for this, a private family office. Not a traditional hedge fund, but private family offices. Now, in other videos in the past, I've talked about how private family offices are under different regulations. The regulatory is much different than a hedge fund or a bank or anything else. They have a lot of leeway, lots of things to be able done in a traditional family fund. So it kind of falls out of the American finance oversight purview, because it's designed for wealthy families. Regulatory matters don't really pertain to them because it's a family fund. They have certain proclivities that they asked for during Congress, and that's what they got. These are rich American families that made this law, right? And that's how he was doing this. That was the platform he was using. Okay, so let's talk about how this happened. So he was using derivatives, right? And he was indirectly going through a bank. In this case, Goldman. But it wasn't just Goldman, though. I'll get into this a little bit further. Like I said, there's two parties in a return swap: a payer, right here, the investment bank, and a receiver, Archegos. So what happens is Archegos would say to Goldman, hey, over a period of time, we will pay you guys a fixed fee with interest, and in return for this money, you, the investment bank, Goldman, will invest with Viacom or Discovery or whoever, and the returns or the dividends you send back to us. Okay, you'll take positions in certain companies, and you'll pay me dividends or capital appreciation of the stock, and you'll return them to me. So I say I pay him the fee, he invests, the money comes back to Goldman, Goldman gives it back to me, and I make money off of it, right? Sounds wonderful. But why? Why wouldn't Bill or Archegos go directly and buy the stock? Well, it's very simple. Here's that word again. Ready? Margin, right? Dangerous stuff. These guys were giving him massive amounts of margin, right? The banks would give him, let's say, I think it was one of the SEC regulators that had said, for every dollar he had within himself, the banks margined him like $5-6, $5 to $6 in margin. So all he needs is a little bit of capital, and the returns, you guys, would be massive. That's how that works. So he'd put up $1, they'd give him $6 worth of Viacom, right? As long as that stock didn't go down, Bill was okay, right? We don't know when he did this. We don't know where it was. I couldn't find the records for it, what he bought it at or what he sold at. But what happened was, obviously the stock went down and things happened. But he didn't just do it with Goldman Sachs. He did it with Morgan Stanley, and he did it with Credit Suisse, and he did it with Nomura. So he's got all these investment banks that are investing not on different stocks, not a diversified portfolio, on 2 stocks, Viacom and Discovery, which, anybody, even the most humble of finance students and investment people that you drag off the street, middle America will tell you to have a diversified portfolio, not to have just all your money in one stock. It's the most common sense thing. But Bill from Archegos didn't do that. He wanted two stocks, Viacom CBS, which I assume pays a dividend, as well as Discovery, right? Doesn't make any sense, but he did it anyway. So what happened? Viacom, CBS, and Discovery doing well, and all of a sudden they had a bad quarter, and they had another bad quarter, and all of a sudden, Goldman's getting nervous, Morgan Stanley's getting nervous. They call Bill, they're trying, hey, you got to come up with some money, buddy. You got to come up with this margin call. He's getting margin called, right? So Bill's got to pay this maintenance fee. Bill does not have that money. So what happens? Either Goldman sells that stock, or they hold on to it and they just take whatever's left of Bill's. They basically take care of everything. They custody of what he's got. All right. When they call him in this last time before Archegos was completely wiped out, Bill doesn't even answer the phone. Archegos people doesn't answer the phone, right? So they're calling Goldman, Morgan, Credit Suisse, Nomura. They're all calling him, and nobody's answering the phone. It was just like, maybe if we just ignore it, they'll just let it go. But he tells them, hey, just stay in the position. I'm going to pay it. I'm going to pay it. He never pays. And the stock never goes back up. In fact, they took a nice tumble down, all red candles. Boom, 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 boom. Goodbye. He was leveraged, I think 5-6 times over. He did it 5 or 6 times over, and it was over for Bill. There were billions in losses that they couldn't pay. And they were all based off of derivatives. He made a call, it was going to reach this dollar. It never reached there. For some reason, everything just went collapse. I think what happened, this is just my guess. Somebody was watching Bill. Somebody dropped a dime, and people started naked shorting, selling Viacom, CBS, and Discovery. And he got margin called, and Bill went bye-bye. I think that's what happened. It's the most sensible thing, because he got away with murder in Hong Kong. He tried to do it again. He tried to be slick. And, this is what happens. You guys, Bill Archegos is not a unique case. The entire financial and banking sector is filled with Archegoses. They just haven't been caught yet. That's a sad reality, but that's the world that we live in right now. Banks can do whatever they want. Investment bankers and state-owned governments and state-owned banks, they can do whatever they want. But in this case, Bill and Archegos Capital was completely destroyed. Currently, Bill sits, I think, out on bail until he is able to stand trial for what he's done, which has caused a lot of grief for a lot of families. There are a lot of people that lost money in this, not just Archegos, Goldman, Morgan, Credit Suisse, their whole shareholders as well. The loss was big enough to where it warranted an investigation. And let's hope and let's pray that it also happens for some other hedge funds that are doing very similar things in investments that we have. All right. So that's what a total return swap is. I hope you understand this now and how it works. I hope you kind of burn it into your memory, and I hope you found value in it. You know, we started back up. Well, I started back up 2 days ago, almost made about 8 videos, and we're climbing back up to 3,000 subscriptions. So absolutely tremendous. I'm humbled by you guys. I looked back over there and I saw 3,000 subscriptions, and I was just like, wow, these people really like what I have to say. Thank you so much. That made me feel amazing, by the way. Thank you for that. And I will continue to bring you good content, sound DD, and I will absolutely 110% make sure that every pertinent thing that you need to know about this is put out to you in edible bites, small bites, not crazy, you know, sophisticated, whatever, but just stuff that you can understand and see what happened, right? And I'll draw it out in little graphics like this. So thank you again for everything, you guys. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit the bell icon and look for those notifications, because the more you learn about this machine and how it works, the more you can speak intelligently when it comes to, because the day will come. One day it'll all come together, and it might be social media, it might be a congressional hearing, and you might be the person that has a voice that might actually speak up and say, well, they were doing total return swaps. And, you know, if you do that and you learn that from this page, I would be absolutely worth it. Totally worth it. Thank you for that. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Take care. Al from DC signing out. Bye.